Godwinson is 4 things.
Greetings from across the grand spectrums of time and indeed the multiverse. Now, a few of you have DM'd and emailed me today to ask what is essentially this question. What do I think about Jim selling hats? Well, I hate to be predictable on this, I really do, but if you look back at my entire body of work since 2013 when I started, you look back at every single one of those hundreds and hundreds of videos that I've made since that date, you can see a very clear, very strong, very robust message, and it's that I absolutely loathe, I hate monetization. I always have. I will never monetize, and I actively encourage all of you out there not to play the game of monetization, not to whitelist your favourite e-celeb on Adblock, not to give them money over PayPal, and certainly I implore you not to become their patron on Patreon. I think the whole thing is cancer. And once this cancer is actually cut out of the internet, society as a whole will be much better. I work in education for a living, and I see every single day young people looking down at their phone screens and saying that they want to be PewDiePie, saying that they want to be KSI, Keemstar, Logan Paul, whomever. They want to be an e-celeb. They want to not focus on any academic potential they may have. No, they can just stay at home, fail at life entirely, and simply become insta-famous and sell advertiser space in 10-minute chunks. And I despair. I despair because this isn't a real job. There's no insurance that comes with being a YouTuber. There's no pension pot. There certainly isn't any workers' rights. You're at the whim of an algorithm, a mega corporation that can simply deplatform you without giving you any notice. Almost every single job in the real world is better, is more secure than doing YouTube for a living. But for some reason, the young of this country, the young of the country I'm sure that you inhabit, they've become brainwashed into neglecting reality and instead focusing on chasing likes, becoming insta-famous, and thinking in those terms. If a full-scale demonetization does happen and people can't draw money from YouTube, people can't draw money from the internet, you're going to start seeing people be active in the real world again. Once you take away the carrot of monetization, society at large becomes healthier. The e-celeb monetizes. They lose almost all of their creative autonomy because they're at the mercy of advertisers, sponsors, and essentially that e-celeb morphs into a conduit whereby they simply become a name pushing out 10-minute videos that really should be 30 seconds long because that's how long the message is before it's artificially stretched out to 10 minutes. They essentially become this conduit for a 10-minute artificially lengthened video. That video is almost inevitably a commercial, an advertisement for a whole litany of overpriced, low-quality mugs, t-shirts. And in tandem with this lack or losing of self-respect and dignity, in tandem with that, the e-celeb actually gains something. They actually gain a subreddit, and they gain the cancerous audience that comes with such an affliction. Ultimately, what all of this does is serve to kill any creativity of the content provider that you used to enjoy. You're not going to be hearing any hot takes from them that will get them showered from a platform on the internet. You're not going to be hearing anything that's going to change the world or even incite you to change the world. No. Now, this message that I'm saying, it used to be a lot more popular, certainly when I started back in 2013. It used to be a mark of shame if you actually did monetize on the internet. If you were an e-celeb, e-begging your audience for a laptop or to crowdfund your next mortgage payment. Whatever message you actually were pushing out was tainted because you transparently let the mask slip and revealed yourself to be someone who was simply prioritizing getting paid on the internet as opposed to delivering the message that you wanted to deliver. How many times have you heard, without your donation, this video would not be possible? Why is it that if you're not given any donations, why is it that the content you've just made would not be possible? Surely if it meant that much to you and you were there to entertain, if you were there to spread a message, or if you were there to spread the message of free speech, for example, or a free press, surely you'd be making the content anyway. You wouldn't need a donation to motivate you. You wouldn't need people paying you to actually speak these words. Like I say, the message of demonetization and hating on those who monetize used to be a much more widespread. Now, I started noticing e-celebs, and conservative in the sense that they were against monetization. I started noticing that they were starting to turn when Jim monetized, when he got his Patreon. People saying, well, if Jim's monetized, then, I might as well do the same thing. And I've always maintained, however much one may like Jim, may like his content, you shouldn't do something simply because Jim's done something. Why do they do this? Why don't they have any thoughts of their own? Why do they idolize someone and intend to emulate them and intend to imitate them at every single juncture? Why do they feel validated when Jim does something? It's very hard to find someone who doesn't like Jim, because the content stands for itself. The videos are good, they're well made, and contrary to Coach's opinions, they do have a sense of artistry that have managed to capture myself, and I'm sure the vast majority of people listening to this video. They're good videos, But simply because someone makes good videos, it doesn't mean they have complete autonomy over my actions. So, simply because Jim gets a Patreon, or Jim wants to sell hats, don't expect me to do the same thing. But I tell you what, you can now expect to see people who were against monetization, who were against such disgraceful behaviour, you're going to start seeing them do exactly what Jim's doing now. And you can't say, well,
So this video is about Godwinson. I am disappointed in the British little shit, the limey fuck. Yeah, because he was supposed to do a video about me, and I like to watch videos about myself because I'm so sexy. Yes, my double chin and my paunch make me irresistible, and even to myself, and that's why I love watching videos of myself, and I'm just waiting for Godwinson to do a video about me. But, what does he do? He puts out a video that was kind of like weird and disjointed, and then closes up his channel once again, and just like disappears from the scene once again. Now I'm gonna do a video that I didn't really want to do. It's basically because I kind of like Godwinson. I certainly understand him. I certainly understand him because I know what he is, who he is. Yeah. Yeah, he keeps saying that his channel gets deleted. Bullshit. He deletes his own channels, right? Because he's basically a chicken shit. See, because he is an upper-class kid with all the breaks. He's got brains. He's a good-looking kid. He's probably got social connections, probably family or schooling or a combination thereof. And he could get any position he wants in society. He could pretty much aspire to any position in society, anywhere from prime minister to Nobel laureate in whatever science or whatever. The guy's got it all. He's got the world on a string. The world is his oyster. But see, he lacks one thing. And this is the key issue. And that's why I know that Godwinson is never going to amount to much. Godwinson has no balls. He doesn't have the courage to make a decision. See, because he's intensely attracted to this whole vibe of the internet subculture, the internet blood sports and all this shit. He's intensely attracted to it, yeah? And he could be a presence in it. But see, he doesn't dare have a channel permanently because inevitably there would be troughs. There'd be peaks and there'd be troughs. And so people know him, but whenever he's there for a while, he runs away out of fear that he's not going to be successful. See? Because he sort of like is paralyzed by all this promise that he has. He has all of these options, but he's sort of like caught up in the opportunity cost issue. In the fact that when you make one decision and when you take one path, you inevitably and of necessity close off the other paths. And so Godwinson wants to maintain all paths open indefinitely. He doesn't have the balls to be an adult and simply make up his mind and go in one direction. He's at the fork in the road, dithering. The Hamlet of the fork of the road. You see what I'm saying? He can't make up his mind. He can't make up his mind because he's scared. Because he's a little chicken shit. Hey, I don't begrudge him. I knew guys like that, right? I knew guys like that who had like everything at their feet, and yet they never amounted to anything. And that's the tragedy. See? All that promise, but a lack of courage. So they stayed there at the fork in the road and never amounted to anything. The other thing, too, is that he needs intensely to be at the center of things, to be in the know. He so needs that. He so needs to be in the know, to be perceived by others that he knows. It was really fucking funny. One time I heard him speak, right? And the conversation turned to me and how I'd appeared on RT TV a few times. Now, I appeared on Russia Today talking about economics as a favor to a producer friend, right? And I thought it would be funny, and, you know, so why not? I appeared a few times, I don't know, maybe a half dozen times, something like that. And, you know, just a talking head. And Godwinson claimed that he had seen me. That's absurd. Okay, Russia Today is an obscure channel. And Russia Today has hundreds of talking heads about all kinds of issues. And I was on Russia Today back in 2012. How on earth could Godwinson claim that he had seen me on Russia Today 6 fucking years ago and remember me? That's absurd. That's absurd, but it points to Godwinson. He needs to be perceived that he's in the know. He needs to be in the know, or at least pretend that he's in the know. And that points to weakness. I like Godwinson. I've never interacted with the son of a bitch. I wouldn't mind. He's probably an interesting kid, but he's a boy, he's a child. He'll never be a man. Not the way he's going. He doesn't have the balls to step on the scene and make a place for himself. He wants to sort of like slide in by charm alone. But he doesn't have like the balls to just like stick the elbows into the other motherfuckers and get in there. Yeah. And take his place. He's never had to fight for anything, so he doesn't know what it is to take what you want. And this message is for Godwinson. And I know you're listening to this and watching it. Yeah. With your little stupid things of, ooh, true nectar and kino and shit like that. But I know you. I know you so well. I know you better than yourself. You will never amount to anything if you continue on this path. Be a man and make up your mind. If you're going to get in the ring, get in the ring. But don't be a little faggot bitch and sort of like, am I in? Am I out? I don't know. I'm Godwinson. I'm a faggot. I'm a faggot who can't make up his fucking mind. Make up your fucking mind, boy. Or get the fuck out of my sight.
Stay tuned, motherfuckers.